All right, everybody. This is another edition of Baseball for Maniacs. We got a bit of a fun one for you guys today. Last one, besides Owen's solo podcast, if you haven't seen that one, go check it out. He breaks down the Adolis Garcia signing, which I assume he's still very happy about.
Well, with the news of the outfield being said, I'm like, I don't know about it anymore. But yeah, go check out that pod. It was a fun time.
But yeah, so last time you had the both of us on the show, it was the worst playoff moments in our respective franchises' history. Now today we're going to bring some smiles and talk about the top playoff moments in history. Now, before we get going, I do want to say you guys have been growing this TikTok page beyond belief. We just eclipsed 300 followers on the TikTok page, and we're still growing as we speak right now. We probably got a couple as we're having this conversation right now. So from the bottom of my heart, and I assume I speak for Owen too, from the bottom of my heart, thank you guys for growing this as fast as you have so far. It's been a blast so far, and I'm really looking forward to keeping this one going.
Yeah, 100%, dude. I mean, our main goal is just to engage with as many baseball fans as we can. It's going to be tough growing the YouTube. We get it. We're small creators. We're trying. But you guys engaging in posts, whether it's agreeing with us or even disagreeing with us, we love it all because we just love having conversations. So we're going to keep popping out these episodes. We're going to do everything we can. And like me and Ryan always say, give us ideas because we have free time on our hands to talk baseball. We always do. So we're more than willing to do like these type of episodes. But I'll get right into it. So it's going to be our 5 best playoff games. I'm obviously going to do the Phillies. Ryan's going to do the Red Sox. So let's get right into it. My 5th favorite game is the 2022 World Series Game 3. So obviously Harper sending one to the moon on a first pitch. Everything about that, the way John Smoltz was like commentating the game, saying, McCullers throws a lot of off-speed pitches. Is Harper going to sit on that? He had to throw like one fastball like the entire time, and it's just a cock shot slider up, and he sends one to the moon. The energy in that stadium, I could not describe just watching it on TV. Obviously, I didn't have enough money to go to Philly and pay the World Series prices, but that homer, Marsh sending one, Alec Boehm hitting a homer, like Bryce coming over and saying like Alec, they picked something up on that, and then Hoskins, man, when Joe Davis says the South Philly Bombers with 5. I've made about 15 sad edits to that specific quote because it just felt like in that moment, dude, we were going to win it all. Andrew Bellotti closing out the game, and he was dominant that year. Like, if Phillies fans know who Andrew Bellotti is, especially the psychopaths, it just felt like we were going to win it all. We're not going to talk about what happened afterwards. We talked about that in the previous episode, but man, I'll go back and I'll watch Game 3 of the World Series, and I'll just enjoy it, man. Like, we talk about baseball, the highs and the lows, but there's a lot of highs. So, like, even though it ends in heartbreak, if you don't sit back and enjoy those moments along the ride, man, what are you doing it for? But that's my number 5. My number 4 is the 2023 NL Wildcard Game 2, Phillies Marlins. I was there in person. Me and Ryan went to Game 1. That was a blast.
Yes,
Didn't
it
make
was.
a very fond memory, especially with me and my bud Ryan. But dude, the stock grand slam. I was sitting in like the 210 section, which was like right by the first base side, first row. That ball, you knew it was gone. The feeling in that stadium, I remember I was sitting next to 2 fans. Obviously didn't know them because I was just with my dad. It was a younger son and his dad. And I just dap up the dad. He's having a blast. And I see the kid, he's like 5 or 6. And it's just like, that's what it's all about, man. Like, kids watching the game. I felt like a kid. It was my second playoff game I ever been to. 2023 was the first time I got to witness Red October, and it did not disappoint. It was unbelievable.
Yeah, I gotta say that Stotty Grand Slam. There's honestly nothing better than the entire crowd behind him just going, "I know I'll be okay," and then immediate nuke right afterwards.
Oh, dude, well, we were singing at Game 1. Like, they were doing that the entire time. And it was like there was a mound visit. It was like you just felt the aura. And it was lefty-lefty. Now, in 2023, Stott hit lefties well. But he never swung at the first pitch. But I feel like he felt in that moment, oh, screw it, dude. I'm going to let one loose. And he did. And that was just another moment in 23 that I thought we were going to win it all. There were multiples. Obviously, Arizona. I'm not going to talk about it. That's the last episode. But yeah, 4. Number 3 is going to be the 2022 NLCS Game 5. Obviously, when we clinch the NL pennant, go to the World Series, I remember watching it in my old house in Florida, and it was just it was magical, man. Like, I'm not trying to get all emotional and stuff, but the Hoskins homer, 2-0 Phils on a 3-0 Yu Darvish, like fastball right down the middle. It was an afternoon game going into the night. It felt poetic, dude. It felt amazing. And then the Padres take the lead when it was raining out. Sir Anthony throws a wild pitch, but you still felt like something big was going to happen. Eighth inning, we all know what happens. JT hits the single. Bryce comes up. And that at bat by Bryce Harper was the best at bat I've ever seen. He spits on a 2-2 slider that Robert Suarez couldn't have made a better pitch on that. And he just takes it. He's ready to go, but he takes it. So you're like, oh Christ, something's about to happen. And then like Harper, the swing of his life, one of Joe Davis's best calls. Ranger coming in, throwing two pitches, getting David Robertson, who had a really good 2022 postseason, but Suarez coming in, pop up to Castellanos, Segura embracing. You see Marsh, Kyle, Nick all coming together. And that celebration, dude, it lasted into the night. I think the game ended at like 5 o'clock or something. I don't know what time it was, but just watching the post game celebrations, I knew I partied throughout the night. It was just like, this is what it's all about. And the reason it's third, we'll get into why I think the other two are better, but that was just phenomenal, dude. I mean, I'll never forget that. Again, thought we were winning it all, but
That
that's
at bat reminded me of Mookie's like 15 pitch at bat where he went yard over the monster because that stuff you just can't teach. That's just talent.
no, and it's just like I don't think Harper's ever been more locked in, and you just felt like he was going to do something big, whether it was because Harper doesn't really like on the first pitch he'll go all out like game 3 of the World Series 2022. But when he gets in that 2-2 count and what he was doing that entire postseason, he was one of the best two-strike hitters. And he just went with the pitch. He didn't like swing for the fences. He just went there and it was like 95, 96, whatever it was, just got over the left field wall. Philly's like, it's cloudy, it's the dusk is falling, it's about to be nighttime. Just poetic, dude. But number 2 for me is Game 4 of the 2023 NLDS Phillies Braves. I genuinely thought I was going to have a heart attack watching that game. Like, I had to do breathing exercises, like, as things were going, just watching it. Because the Braves took the lead. Austin Riley had a homer, it's 1-0. And then Casty, man, like, the aura, like, with his 2 homers, moonshots off Strider, Turner coming through with a big hit. You would think that's impossible now with his recent postseasons, but Turner hit 2-1, and then it was Cassidy versus Strider in the 6th, and it was a battle, man. Because really, in 2023, Strider was just a two-pitch pitcher. It was 99 or it was a slider. That was a devastating slider, and it was 99. So even though it was a two-pitch, he was a two-pitch pitcher. He was effective, and he pitched well that game. It was just 3 solo shots, but I'm like, if he like lets a fastball in the zone, because Cassie's just going to be all out swinging. That's what he does. And boy, did he get a hold of that. But that's not even my favorite moment of the game. Everyone knows, I'm sure, from the TikTok, from the podcast, I'm a Johan Rojas supporter till the day I die. D1 Glazer, and I'm so proud of it. Mind you, he committed to play for the Dominican Republic for the WBC. He's not going to get playing time, but he's on the team. Whatever. And who's pitching? Craig Kimbrell, dude. Nothing can be easy with Craig Kimbrell. Bases loaded. Acuna hits one. I thought it was gone. But what's so chilling about that game, it's 45,000 losing their minds. But when he hits it, the stadium is dead silent. And then you see it's in the gap. It's like, oh crap. Rojas is an elite defender, but it's one of those balls where it's like, is that going to drop? Is there going to be communication between him and Marsh? What's going on? And then Rojas catches it. And that's when I knew we were going in the championship series. Thought we were winning it all. Matt Strom, dude, like, he sucks right now, but Matt Strom got the job done. And it was funny because Gregory Soto, Mets and Pirates legend now, started the 9th, and he gave up like 2 base runners. It was runners on third and first, nobody out. There's a wild pitch. Pilar doesn't come and score from third. I'm like, well, that's a little weird. And then they just get the 3 outs, and that celebration, man, because the Braves in 2023 were dominant, dude. They were, I think, the best offense ever. Maybe the 27 Yankees were better statistically, but that Braves team was freaking loaded. The fact that we beat them and then lost to Arizona, that just shows you baseball is baseball. But I'll never forget that, dude. And the celebration, it was similar to like when they went to the World Series because you thought, oh, now we got Arizona because we knew we would play them because they swept the Dodgers in the 2023 Division Series, which awoke a sleeping giant, Shohei Ohtani, signing with them. Whatever, whatever. But that was a great game, man. That's number two. Number one might surprise you guys, but it's another game I went to in person. It was the 2024 NLDS Game 2.
Hmm.
I went to both Game 1 and Game 2. First one was with my buddy, and then the second one was with my dad. And obviously, we lost Game 1, so it was a must win. And the first like 5 or 6 innings, I've never heard CBP more quiet. It was eerie. It was like a replay of the championship series the previous year against Arizona, losing both games at home. I remember in the fourth inning, Casty swings at one in the freaking dirt, and then we're booing him. I'm booing him. Dude, I boo. I don't care. I got a few adult beverages in me. I'm at a Phillies playoff game. I spent like $1,000 on the tickets. I'm gonna boo if you're not doing your job.
Of course.
And then the next pitch after he swings one in the dirt, it's the same pitch. He takes it, and we give him that Bronx cheer. And in between the innings, I check my phone, social media, see what's going on, check Twitter, and I see a video of Casty. He's mouthing these effing people, and I'm like, I kind of respect that, dude. Like, imagine being a professional athlete and 45,000 that's supposed to support you are like just shitting on you, and then the sixth inning happens. Turner draws a walk. When have you seen that, dude? Like, he never walks. He never has any play.
No.
But he did that one, and then Bryce sends one. And where I was sitting, I was third base side that time. And you knew it was gone. The energy in that stadium when Harper sent one to center field, and the call was Bryce Harper brings life to Philadelphia. That could have been a better call for what happened. And the stadium's erupting. The stadium like did not quiet down. Cassidy was up after. We're still cheering. We're still losing our minds. And then I see the ball go past me. Cassidy smoked one, and the game is tied. I have never heard CBP more loud until the next inning. We'll get into that. But it's just Harper Cassidy back to back. One of the best moments. Like being in there was a euphoric feeling.
Oh, I can only imagine. I've seen the clips of that so many times and just how loud it got, how unbelievable that was.
It's almost like when I look back and remember it, I can see the ball going. I can see like I can remember cheering and everything, but it just felt like I went to heaven for about 2 minutes because that's the span it happened in. Harper homer, Cassidy homer because he homered on the second pitch. But whatever, that was amazing. But the next inning, the Mets retake the lead. Brandon Nimmo hits one. Guess who? Orion Kirkring. Whatever, dude. Hope he's doing well. Um, but 4-3, and it's like, damn, dude, like they took the momentum right back. And playoff baseball is all about momentum. So when he hit that, the stadium went instantly back wide. And then in the bottom of the seventh, Schwarber was up, I think 2-1. He struck out, and it's like, damn. But then the eighth inning rolls around, and Edwin Diaz comes in, and we light his ass up, except for the game 4 of the division series. We're not going to talk about that.
Yeah.
Um, but then Bryson Stott comes up, and he puts one in the corner. And Phillies take the lead. Castellanos comes around to score. Bryce comes around to score. I don't think it was as loud as when Casty hit it, but it was pretty close. But that was my favorite moment at the bank. Just Bryson Stott coming through. And dude, just another euphoric feeling. Like if you see the clips, you see what it's like in there. But if you've never experienced a game at Red October, you truly can't fathom what it's like being in the building when the Phillies like take the lead, have a big hit, big homer. It's something different, man. It's not just people talking about it. It's legit. Um, Stotty takes it. It's 6-4, and then the top ninth comes in. And who comes in the game? Our favorite reliever, Matt Strom. And what's crazy about that when Vientos ties the game, it wasn't a bad pitch. It was a fastball at his head, and he just gets on top of it, hits it out. The game is tied. Again, the stadium dead silent. And in that moment, I'm like, oh, it's just a Mets year. They're going to win this game. Sometimes you run into a team similar to all the teams that the Phillies faced in the 2022 run, except for the Astros. It's just magic, dude, and you really can't do anything about it. But then the ninth inning comes up. Turner gets on. Harper smokes one to the wall, and it's 2 feet foul. If you saw, they did the replay. Turner was like almost right at third when the ball dropped. He would have obviously scored. And then you just see Harper's reaction. He goes like this, and it's like, damn, the Magic, they got it, we don't. And then Harper walks, and then who else but Nick Castellanos?
Right.
And I just remember when he put one like over third baseman's head, we win the game. I felt like we were going to win the World Series. Leaving that stadium, it was just F the Mets, F the Mets, F the Mets. And I even had, it was like an usher say to me, have some respect to me. And I'm like, are you out of your mind? We just beat the Mets. I'm saying F the Mets and you're getting mad at me. That's not the here nor there. But leaving that stadium, there were so many chants. We were chanting Aaron Nola's name because he was pitching game 3. And I think we said Pete Alonso's a virgin, and we kept just chanting that like as we were leaving the ramps. It was just a euphoric feeling, and it was my number one game is because I got to experience it with my dad, and we still talk about that game to this day. Like that was something special. Granted, we go to Queens the next 2 days, we shit the bed, we lose, the Mets beat us, but those are my top 5 games. Hopefully in 2026, I add one of those games to my list, maybe a World Series clincher. I don't know. Um, but yeah, man, just always fun to talk about some of the good moments in baseball because it's not all bad, dude. Even the heartbreak, there's a lot of magical moments.
You're absolutely right. And now the Red Sox, as I've stated multiple times, they are the most successful team since the year 2000, but we haven't had really much since the start of the 20s necessarily. 2020 through 2025, we've been like right there, but we haven't gotten there just yet. So a lot of these are going to come from the 2013, 2018 eras of when the Red Sox did win the World Series. But not all World Series games. Now let me explain while my first two are World Series games. Number 5, 2013 Game 6 against the Cardinals. The moment when Koji struck out Matt Carpenter and the meeting at the mound, David Ross just catches him and they're hugging. It was the first time it had happened at Fenway in, I believe, 95 years. The last time they had won a World Series at Fenway Park was the 1918 World Series. And it's kind of like how you said that that was your number one moment because you got to watch it with your dad. That was the first World Series that I got to watch with my dad. Because even though that the World Series were going on in 2004, 2007, he had to go to work. This was like the one time where my dad had off on the right day, and we got to sit down and we got to watch the Red Sox win the World Series. And that to me is more special than anything I could have ever asked for. It just means a lot to me that we got to experience that together. And then 5 years later, we get to do it again, which is why my number 4 moment is the 2018 World Series Game 6, and a particular moment again because Manny Machado, see, I'm one of those people that doesn't hate Machado, even though he did end the career of my favorite baseball player of all time. I, I don't hate Manny Machado. I
Hmm.
like Manny Machado, especially now that he's in San Diego. He can stay the hell away from the AL East. But either way, when Sale threw that slider and Machado swung through, he looked like the letter K on his follow through. It made so much. It was so perfect. Chris Sale coming in out of the bullpen on some Madison Bumgarner type beat
Yeah.
like closes out the game. He was electric that entire playoff run. But having him as the starter going into that and then closing out your winning game of the World Series, dude, it really doesn't get any better than that. Another one I got to watch with my dad too, so we could put that one right there on the upper echelon of championships that the Red Sox have won because I experienced it with my dad.
Yep. 100%.
And now we're gonna go to my number 3 here. So this guy holds a special place in both of our hearts, actually. And I'm talking about the flying Hawaiian, Shane Victorino.
Oh, my guy.
Game 6 of the 2013 ALCS against the Tigers. What does Shane Victorino do? The clutchest thing of his entire career. He hits a grand slam into the Green Monster which gives us the lead to send the Red Sox to the World Series. I watched every second of that game. I couldn't believe what I was looking at because that happened a couple of times specifically in this CS. We'll get to that one in a second. But Victorino coming up, he's not a power guy. You don't expect Shane Victorino to go yellow the way that he did. And you just expect him to either hit one down the line, bunt and beat it down the line, or maybe every now and then he had good power to the gaps. That's
Yeah.
what you expect from a guy like Shane Victorino. You don't expect a nuke to send your team to the World Series, but it's always the guys you don't expect. We want to go to
Yeah.
2018. You talk about Jackie Bradley Jr. Do you think anybody expected Jackie Bradley Jr. to be the ALCS MVP for the Red Sox?
It's always the
No,
guys like Ernie Clement this year. He had the most hits, I think, in postseason history, which is crazy work, but that's what makes a postseason so special.
exactly. It's always next man up. And yes, Shane Victorino was an all-star center fielder, but let's be real. He wasn't the focal point of that 2013 Red Sox team. He was a
No.
really good piece to have, but he wasn't the attraction, so to speak. So
Yeah.
having him come up and get that, I wish it was a walk off. The only thing I wish it was is I wish it was a walk off. But
But yeah.
it was so electric. It was so much fun to watch. And I remember my dad. He went to go smoke a cigarette right before this at bat happened, and I went up. I was like, "Dad, we did it again!" And he was like, "Get out of here!" And he came
Oh,
back in, ran in, big ol' high five, and then we went on to the World Series and won it.
nice.
So number two, I kind of cheated on this one.
Okay.
But if you want me to be specific, I'll say game three. But at number two, I have the entire 2018 ALDS, and that was
Okay.
against the Yankees. Now, I'll say game three because that was the game that we just absolutely smoked them. We put up 16 runs on them in Yankee Stadium.
Wow.
Now, granted, Angel Hernandez had the game of his life at first base that day. I believe there were 4 or 5 reviews on his calls alone, and all of them were egregiously bad.
Was that his
But
last? I think they said, yeah, we can't have this guy out here anymore.
yeah, I think after because I remember there was a double play that didn't go the Red Sox way. Like Xander was, I think, out by like a foot and a half, and he
Mm-hmm.
called him safe. And I'm sitting there like, what? Like, why did they let this guy ump in the DS? Like, God forbid he got to ump in the World Series.
Yeah. No, that. Yeah, that guy.
But the reason why I put the entire 2018 ALDS on there, you've had conversations with Yankee fans. You've probably also had arguments with Yankee fans. What is the
Mm-hmm.
one thing that the Yankee fans bring up more than anything?
27.
27. And you know how many runs the Red Sox combined for in those 4 games?
Real 27.
It was 27.
That's awesome.
And I did the math. One of my old buddies was a big Yankee fan, so I went up to him. I was like, hey, you remember those 27 rings that you guys have? The ones that are collecting dust to this day? Yeah, yeah. We put 27 runs on your dome pieces. How about that, dickhead? But yeah, that entire DS run, I'll never see anything like that again, probably. That was so much fun, and especially that we got to put belt to ass to the Yankees. Oh my
It was
God, please, mercy.
Was
Like,
that the first time y'all played since '04
I
in the
think so,
playoffs?
yeah. I think
It
we always
was.
kind of like avoided each other.
Yeah,
Either we
which
got out
is
first or
good.
the Yankees got out first.
Yeah, no, that's dope.
And now, my number one moment of all time Red Sox playoff moments. Again, I feel like it's obvious, just like my heartbreak list. I feel like number one is just as obvious.
Mhm.
Games two of the 2013 ALCS against the Tigers. Joaquin Benoit is the man on the mound. Now, he's no slouch. This is a guy who could pump in 99 like it's nobody's business. It's a big outs getter for the Tigers at this point in his career. The bases are loaded. Who's at the plate? Number 34,
Mm.
David Ortiz. And what does he do? He rips a game tying grand slam, and it gives us the momentum that we need to rally for the rest of the series and win it in 6. Big Poppy's Game 2 ALCS Grand Slam is the single greatest moment in the history of Red Sox baseball. There isn't anything to this day that I can think of that eclipses it. Poppy's grand slam just epitomizes everything that he was for the Boston Red Sox. The clutchest DH of all time, the best DH of all time.
Yeah,
He personified October bat. If you had him on your team in October, you were going to win a couple games because this guy doesn't stop hitting, especially in October.
yeah.
He's an absolute Hall of Famer, and he solidified himself going to the Hall of Fame with that one swing. He had a great
And you were
career up to that point in the first place, but either way, that one swing got him to the World Series. Got us to the World Series, and it got him to the Hall of Fame.
yeah, and you guys were down 1-0 in that series, right?
Yeah, I believe so. Actually, I'm gonna look that up right now. Actually,
Yeah, I
in
think
trusty old
100%.
PlayStation.
And when you're down 1-0, like when you have home field advantage, obviously game two is a must win. Unless you're the Blue Jays who lost two games at home, which is crazy, or the 2019 was it the Nationals? Well, they won it anyway, whatever. But just like the energy of like that swing brings everything back. The momentum's on your side, and then you go to Detroit, you do a job, you win two out of three, and then you come back and win it in six. Like, yeah, that ALCS. And it was funny because like during that run, once the Phillies weren't in it, it was when I was growing up watching baseball. And it's like moments like that still obviously kept me engaged, still made me fall in love with the game even more. Even if I wasn't watching my team, it was still magical. And watching the playoffs when your team is not in it, it is some of the best. No stress, just enjoying the game. Because I'm sure when you're watching Red Sox playoff games, you need an inhaler, you need like a medical team on staff. Your heart rate is pumping. It's fun when you win, but it's when you lose, it's so devastating. So I remember watching that game as a kid too. Just incredible.
And another thing about that is that nobody realizes how close Torrey Hunter was to robbing that ball. Honestly,
Yeah,
Torrey Hunter almost made the play of his career on that. He sold out
just
completely and hurt himself going over the wall, actually. He got hurt on that play. I think he stayed in the game, but he did hurt himself on that.
And I
Just,
think he said like the rest of his career, like that play, like effed him up. Like he wasn't ever the same, but he never regrets it. And that's the type you just like tip your hat. Like even though obviously he didn't catch it, I'm sure you're ecstatic that he didn't catch it. But it's
oh, of
just like
course.
two teams going for war. And the Tigers, when Dombrowski was the GM, the Tigers had really good teams, but they can never get over the hump. It sounds kind of familiar right now to what's going on in Philly. But just two teams going at it and just the better team winning.
Absolutely. And the thing is, there's not a lot. Another memory with my dad because we were down 5-1 in the bottom of the eighth inning when he hit that grand slam. When you're down 5-1 in the bottom of the eighth, you think the game's over anyway. Like
Yeah.
there were
No.
two outs, bases were loaded, and if he flew out there, our chances were probably done. We were going to go down 2-0 in the CS, probably wouldn't have even made it to the World Series. My dad turned the game off because he got so frustrated. But me being the optimist, I turned it back on right as
Yeah.
Poppy hit the Grandy. I walked out of the room and I went, Dad, he did it again. And he ran back into the room as Poppy's rounding third. And again, the feeling, the absolute joy and happiness that came from my father, and it instilled it into me. He's the reason why I'm as big of a Sox fan as I am. And
Yeah.
like being able to enjoy those moments with him, being able to tell him those moments. I was maybe 14 when this was going down, so this was very early into me becoming an absolute psychopath about baseball, and that definitely
Yeah.
helped me. It's probably a top five moment in baseball history, but in my opinion, it is the number one moment in Red Sox history, Red Sox playoffs, Red Sox anything. David Ortiz, Game 2, ALCS 2013 Grand Slam in the bottom of the eighth off of Joaquin Benoit is the best moment in Red Sox history.
Gotcha. That's awesome, dude. Just back to the point, like obviously you and me, like we watched baseball with our dads like throughout growing up. I remember me and my dad would always go to Phillies games every year, whether it's one game, two games, three games, whatever it was. And even when I moved to Florida, I'd fly back. I fly back just for the Phillies, which is crazy. But it's more just like keeping that tradition alive, keeping the love of the game. And when your team is good, when you're watching it with your dad, there's nothing better, dude.
Yeah, that's I couldn't have said it better myself. Like I didn't get to go see a professional baseball game until the year 2018 actually. My family had never been loaded, so it was always kind of tough to get the baseball tickets whenever the Red Sox came into town. But the first game I ever saw, 2018, with my dad, when Rick Porcello was on the hill, Sandy Leon hit a home run 4 rows in front of us, and you can actually see it on the clip if you go. It was Nick Pivetta on the hill for the Phillies, and Rick
Oh, what a
Porcello
guy.
for the Sox. And Pivetta just leaves one right over the plate for Sandy, who's not a good hitter, and he puts one into the bleachers. My favorite part about that wasn't the home run. It wasn't the guy who hit it. If you look in the very back of the video of the home run going out, after they show it like bounce in the stands, you can see me and my dad just giving each other the biggest high five you could ever imagine. And just having that moment on camera, nationally broadcasted, that means something to me.
100%, dude. Yeah, that's awesome. All
Yeah,
right, but yeah,
I would never miss an opportunity to go see a game with my dad. Like I said,
yeah,
he's the reason why I'm as big of a fan as I am and why I'm so fanatical about this game.
yeah. I'm very thankful that my dad instilled baseball into me, and then just like carrying it to this day. But that's our top 5 moments. We'd love for you guys to let us know yours in the comments or even on the TikTok page. What's the next episode we're doing? You had an idea.
So we've done a lot of Phillies and Red Sox talk, which is a lot of fun, obviously. But I know that Owen and I just like baseball, which means that we have certain players that we have a soft spot for that just may not happen to be on the Phillies or the Red Sox. So you let us know what you guys think about giving you guys our just favorite overall baseball players. Not
Mhm.
necessarily ranking them from worst to best, but just saying the guys that we like having fun watching. I'll give one right now just for example. I have a lot of fun watching Julio Rodriguez play baseball. He's a really, really electric bat. Fast. He's as fast as the sky is blue, and he just brings the energy that the Mariners need. If they didn't have Cal Raleigh, Julio Rodriguez would probably be hitting 30, 40 home runs a year, honestly. I think he's due for a 30, 40 home run season, like
Yeah,
next year, even. I remember when
dude.
he was starting to come up.
If he just has a good April and May, because the last I think 3 years he's been one of the worst hitters in baseball in like April and May, and then he just goes off. If he puts it together for a full year, he will win the MVP. Well, yeah, he's in the American League, so he doesn't have Shohei to worry about. So he will win the MVP in the American League.
He's got Judge to worry about, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how much longer Judge has left at the top of the American League. He's getting older. I think he's going to be 34, and he did sign
Yeah,
that big
he
old
could
deal. And
also,
hmm?
he could be the guy that falls off a cliff like quick. Just his size and
Oh,
everything, like
it's always the big guys. The big guys are always the one with the hardest falls. Think about Adam Dunn. That's a name you haven't heard in a
dude,
while.
what a guy! Just tanks in Chicago, Cincinnati, Washington. He was a problem.
Arizona too, I think.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
But
either way,
but
I
that's
would. I
that's
sorry, I keep cutting
yeah.
you off.
No, you're good. No, but that's the episode. That's pretty much. But we'll probably get the other one out. Like I said, we'll just be doing a bunch of these videos. Like, there's not a lot of news going on right now, so we can't really do a breaking pod because we're not going to do a breaking pod for like Adolis Garcia. I'll do a solo pod. If the Red Sox sign someone, he'll do a solo pod. But we're just waiting
It's
for
like,
the
how
big
much do you
news.
guys
Well,
care about Josh Bell signing?
thank God he is out of the NL East. He is a Philly killer to no end. Stupid little swing just like sends one to the moon every time. But you know what's going to happen? He's going to get traded midseason to a team we're competing with, and he's going to hit like 2 tanks off of us. But that's normal there. Hopefully Tucker signs soon. The one guy from Japan, Murakami, he is to sign in like 5 days, right?
Yeah, so we should have breaking news on that. Otherwise, he's going back to Japan.
I think there's a chance he might just go back to Japan. I don't think there's been any buzz on him.
I really
So
think that
I don't know.
.95 batting average scared a lot of teams away.
Dude, it came out that was wrong.
You
So,
serious?
yeah, so one guy, I'm not sure his name, but I watched his content. I think I won't remember it, but he posted. He was like, "No, like these stats are wrong. Like he had an 800 OPS against above 93, and then above 96, it was still in the 800s. So I don't know if someone like that reported that has like some bad blood with Murakami, but I can't imagine a front office would just take that stat for real and not like do their own deep dive research. But yeah, I haven't heard anything about it. Maybe he goes to the Mets. But dude, he's a first baseman slash DH, so his market is very limited. But dude, he's 26 years old. He has to go to the Angels. He has to. I think that's the perfect. That is such an Angel sign. 5 years, 7 years with an opt out after two.
I feel like we've been saying Angels for a while when it comes to Murakami, just because it makes sense. Like they need it.
Yeah,
They they love the Japanese import too. We don't have Shohei in the MLB without the Los Angeles Angels. So
it's like the Angels are the AAA Japanese team before they're ready to upgrade to the varsity and sign with the Dodgers. So
it's a damn
we'll
shame,
see
but that's
though.
literally what Shohei did.
Dude, well, I think the Angels were the team that because you got to think he couldn't sign with the Dodgers because the DH wasn't in the National League. But I think it was him, the Mariners. I think the Padres were even in on it. But like I said, they're a National League team. The Angels were the only team that were going to let him do both. So in a
Yeah.
way, the Angels kind of like not saved baseball, but made baseball what it is now. Because what Shohei does is ridiculous, and we got to thank the LA Angels for that. As much as they're terrible, they've done some good stuff. Very minimal, but they've done some good stuff.
Yeah, we don't need to talk about the Rendon contract, but letting Shohei pitch and bringing us Mike Trout, I'm forever grateful for them.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, but no, this was a good episode. We'll be back probably soon with either one of our ideas, whether it's breaking news. We're just gonna keep pumping out content. We post every day on the TikTok, whether it's videos, news, engagement. Ryan does the Red Sox, I do the Phillies. But like I always say, let us know what you guys want to see. We appreciate you guys engaging with us, and we're excited for the next episode, whatever that is.
100%. Couldn't have said it better myself. Don't forget to leave a like on this video, guys. Drop a comment as well. Let us know what you want to see. Pretty please. I'm begging you. I love hearing from you guys. I want to give you what you guys want. We're still trying to figure out the grid. We want to get you guys the grid. But,
If you guys
but
do a grid, there's screen sharing stuff, but I probably should just dive deep into that. It's my busy season at work, so I really haven't done much with that, but we'll get that up there, I promise you guys.
we're still learning. We appreciate you guys bearing with us through the learning process. We appreciate you, 300 of you over on the TikTok page. We appreciate the 28 of you that have already subscribed on the YouTube. Now remember, once we get to 50, you guys can just start watching us. We can start doing these live on YouTube and you can interact with us right there and now. So make sure you guys
We can do
share that to your friends, family, anybody. Boost up the YouTube page. But I
perfect.
guess until the next one.
All right, you have a good one, man.